Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Three Witches and a What. My name is Glenda Dawson from glendasmagicalcreations.com. I am the owner and founder of the Spiritual Healing Center in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And this is our very first podcast together. This is our episode 1, and hopefully you will enjoy it. I would like to introduce Mary Nunez and Marianna Leah, and they will tell them about themselves a little bit. They will give each other a little pep talk and introduce themselves. Mary?
Hi, my name is Mary Nunez. I am the proud owner of the Morris Light Reading Spiritual Guidance and Shamanic Healing Facebook group, but also the teacher of Morris Light School and of Spiritual and Healing Arts. I also work with MH Cares in Boynton Beach, Florida, which is a psychotherapy and energy healing center. And other than that, I'm just your regular mom, wife, just a regular person like all of you are.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Mariana.
Hi, I am just a regular person like all of you are. Let's start off with that. I was that before anything else.
Yeah.
I'm but aside from being the regular human and partly divine, as I'm learning, as we are all learning on the planet,
Yes.
I'm also a proud founder of the Love of Light meditation and the yoga program, which has been around actually for a decade in New York City. It is actually streamlined through the active aging community, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder communities, and even children as well. Also a sacred feminine channel, energy intuitive, psychic counselor, proud host of the Magdalena Chronicles, which has been around actually for a year and a half now by the Esoteric Guides NYC, but will be soon making a transition to become independent and hopefully part of the Awakening Consciousness Network as well. So I'm very proud to be here together with what I call one of the biggest spiritual spearheaders of our time, Glenda Dawson and Mary Nunez, and our dear proud, I call them the galactic shamans of our time, the elders, and my biggest mentors and biggest support group. So this is an absolutely amazing opportunity where we're going to bring you guys the most of fun, comical, but also relatable, human, and divine all in one.
Very true. Very good. Love it.
Whoa.
She did a good introduction there.
Oh, and anecdotal, of course. It has to be anecdotal because life is an anecdote.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy. That is perfect. Perfect. Now, today we're just going to discuss basically, it is 9/11 today, and we do honor that day. Not so much for the occurrence or the reasons behind it, but for those souls that are not here with us anymore. Those souls that also left after then, because there's still a lot of people being affected by it.
Mhm.
And it changed the world. It completely changed the world. And we're hoping that with these types of programming, we can change the world in a more positive way,
Mhm.
bring it to the other side. So, for those that are experiencing a lot of fear, may enjoy themselves in these podcasts and in our programming um, at Glenda's Magical Creations in the Conscious Awakening Network. We hope that we can change that fear into love. We can change the hate into love, and we could just change ourselves into love, because out of love, everything is positive. No matter what goes on in your life, if you concentrate on love, it will be in a positive manner. Everything will turn around. It may not go from a perfect life right away, but you will be able to not react to it. Your experiences, the way you look at things will change. Now, the three of us, we have been talking about that because, we talk about everything. This is why we are so good at it. We just talk.
Yes.
And
Listen.
um, we always add information, and we add our experiences to our discussions. And by doing that, each and every one of us learns. And we're hoping that by doing that here, our audience also learns. Everyone that is here learns a different perspective,
Hmm.
because we all came from different backgrounds in one way or another, even though we may have been born maybe in the same country, or maybe we grew up in the same type of areas. Our families were different. Our our perception was different. The way that the world looked and saw us was different.
Hmm.
And all of our experiences have made us change. Thankfully for the better, because, at any point we could have taken a wrong turn.
Yeah.
And we have been very blessed to have continued to take the correct path. There have been times when we kind of slipped off, and, something pushes us back, but we've been able to correct our course. And it's, people have asked me, how can I do that? And basically, trial and error and what feels right.
Hmm.
We all know when something isn't right, but whether we refuse to see that or feel that or acknowledge that, that's the where we have to start changing.
Yeah.
um we have a lot of knowledge between the three of us. We probably could write a whole library of information, not just a book.
We should do that.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? And, we have, each one of us experienced different things. Some of us have experienced divorces. Some of us, like any other human experience, we have experienced abuse in one way or another. We have experienced difficulty in just adulting. Ugh, that word. Uh, but we all come back to the same place. We know that if we follow our heart and we follow our divine guidance and our divine being, we could get to where we need to get to.
Hmm.
And this is one of the reasons we're doing this. Besides the fact that we enjoy and really enjoy talking, sometimes a little too much, but we enjoy talking. If you check with any of our other halves, they could say sometimes it's too much, but it's okay. Maybe a word or two gets in there. That's the way I look at it. Eventually something got to get stuck in there. So, but with that being said, maybe Mary could lead us in a little quick remembrance prayer, and then we could just talk.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Okay. So let's all take a nice cleansing universal breath. And what that means is when we breathe in, we actually select all the positive energies, the positive memories, the positive essence of all the entire universe into our bodies. And from our gut that fills in with this beautiful memory, it goes into our bloodstream. So go ahead and keep taking deep breaths. Hold it, breathe out. And every time you take a deep breath and you let it go, you become more pliable. You're able to receive. You're able to let go of any memories that don't serve you. As we let go of that memory, we actually bring in divine essence, energy, divine wisdom, great medicine. We ask all ancestors throughout the universe and throughout the infinite universes that exist or could exist. We ask them to gather with us and bring in their consciousness, connect to our consciousness, and to bring us the strength, the medicine, the awareness to be able to fly high above the mountains, high above the stars, in the company of the Star Nation, to see and to request beautiful intentions to unfold right before our eyes, to open every avenue as these oxygen particles open up our senses in our bodies. And just like our bodies receive this beautiful medicine, so will our heart, our chakras, our meridians, and all the atoms that are around us, and allow us to receive the energy and allow us to remove what no longer helps us. We ask these energies to fill our souls, which is the place of truth and integrity, and to fill it in such a way that nothing else could possibly fit, and to allow us all, from our present, our past, and our future, to receive this medicine. And as we all converge our energies in the oneness, for us all to understand the significance of walking on this earth in this body, and what it truly means, and how wonderful this life should be. We ask the universe, we ask the ancestors, ascended masters, we ask everyone that holds a high position and high vibrations with the utmost of frequencies to fill any gap, any doubt, and heal us from any inflammation caused by undue stress and worry, and fill us with the wonderful energy that we are possible and we are love. Ahum.
Thank you, Mary. That was wonderful.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So, you know, I don't know where Mary, you probably have a sunny, beautiful day down there. Up us, the two other girls are up in the north. We have cooler temperatures and rain.
Oh,
And of course, the hair complies with that. It's like, yeah, it's like so. But to be truthful, summertime I prefer being up here
yeah.
than down there. So we need to just buy a big house for all of us, so we could travel up and down.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
Like a condo at the beach.
So um,
Mm-hmm.
now we're talking. Just, with a nice big deck
Yes,
with steps going right onto the sand, you
that's it.
know?
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Let's dream it. Let's make it.
Let's do it. Start that intention.
Let's do it. And of course,
You hear that?
we need this. That will be our podcast. We'll make podcasts on the beach
Absolutely.
as we're drinking our coffee, like from this mug.
Well, we can use the law of circulation to make this
There
happen.
you go. Exactly. And there you go. You'll get one soon, Mariana. You'll get one soon. It's like, if they would make it in IV form, we probably would be walking around with a little IV thing.
Oh yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. You're one of those slow release patches. Yeah,
Yeah, right here. That's an idea.
yeah. I'll take mine pumpkin spice.
Yeah, like
Oh,
little
good.
packets on the go. And then you just put it under your tongue. It dissolves easier, goes straight into your bloodstream. It's very good.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
It
Oh,
would
I'll
be
write this
called the
down.
no the stress-free zone.
there.
Dissolving
Yeah. Well, as
gel.
as as my other half calls it, it's a surviving ingredient. Every morning, he is so good. Every morning he brings me coffee and brings me toast with some jelly or whatever I want on it. And he walks in and he says, good morning, my queen, and in a little accent, which is really cute. And then he gives me that and he walks backwards out of the room. He knows that I need running time to really become human.
Yes.
Yes.
And notice how he doesn't give you his back.
No,
He wants to see exactly
he wants to know that I
away
am
from.
sipping the coffee. Right.
You know,
He's
that
really
makes me
good.
think of Beauty and the Beast. Remember the little Mrs. Potts
That's it. Mrs.
and
Potts. Oh,
Lumiere? Remember? So
yes.
that
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
Oh
that's so
my God.
funny.
is that cute? That is so cute.
It is.
I
Oh,
call it the survival trick or treat bag. When
That's it.
you have those survival items intact, because you know not everyone is a morning person,
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
and neither am I.
I am.
And so I have
We
to
know,
get there.
Mary. You're like 6 o'clock in the morning. She's already. I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? Oh my God.
On the way to work. But that doesn't mean I'm in the human mode yet.
No,
Right.
It takes a while.
but it's a beginning, it's a beginning, and eventually you may get to human being. Then you function for a
It's
little
a
bit,
journey.
and then you need a little refill because you can't last the whole day just with
No.
one cup. That
No, no.
just
That
doesn't.
body,
No.
our body goes through so many changes, and our minds go through so many
Mm-hmm.
changes at different times of the day. Now, some we have programmed,
Right.
some have been programmed, but
Right.
then there's these little surprise boxes that come on board all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
and your body is the one that actually takes it all in. That's why we're soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're
Mm-hmm.
soft. So it's like, boom,
Well, I
gotcha.
don't know. I'm kind of hard here.
I'm kind of fluffy and soft. But it's like, boom, here I am. And then your whole body's, I love the way my body does it. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then it turns around and goes, you know, it's like this slow motion. And you're like, is is this supposed to happen? No, I don't like this. And that's
No.
where your conscious awareness comes in, and you're like, excuse me? Not
Mhm.
today. Not
Not today. Yeah,
no, it's not gonna
yeah,
happen. But
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
that's basically how I but the
yeah,
body knows. That's why it's so important to talk to your body. It
right.
has it's one of the first things I do in the morning. That's why I'm awake so early, because I do all my morning
Oh, I do the meridians in the morning, or
yeah.
whatever morning it is for me.
You do the meridians?
I do the tracing,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and I have found that by doing that,
Mhm.
I actually wake up. Not
Yes.
just the coffee. The coffee is definitely a must,
That's for the body.
but
Yeah.
yeah, for the rest of the body, I do the meridian tracing,
Yes.
and I have found that is wonderful.
It is.
Every once in a while, I do have time to do a little qigong,
Yes.
which, then moves more energy around. But truthfully, lately, it's been like, I prefer half an hour more sleep
Right.
to,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Right.
you
And there
know,
are days. There are days. We're remember we have, like I said, our bodies are actually a clock,
right.
and it's also a pendulum. So
Hmm.
we're wearing many hats. No
Hmm.
pun intended, Mariana. But we're wearing a lot of hats, and it takes a toll on the body, right, Mariana? Oh wait, you're
Very,
Yeah,
absolutely. And then like the DNA too, we have to put
yeah.
that into perspective as well with our DNA.
hmm
Hmm.
And it's like, especially with the meridians, like I study the Chinese meridian clock. So if
Hmm.
I'm feeling
Yes.
weak or fatigued at certain times of the day, which comes, repeatedly, I will look at that clock chart and see, okay, what is that? Is that the spleen? Is that the liver?
Yep.
Is that the stomach? What is it? And then so we all exactly, like Mary said, operate like a clock.
Right.
And if we don't feed that clock, we don't fuel it, whether
right,
it's
Hmm.
emotionally, whether it's physically, whether we have to
Hmm.
actually eat or drink water, or just emotionally, spiritual, feed it. Like we're
Yes.
feeding our
Yes.
soul, because it's not just about eating right. It's not just about drinking enough water, where unfortunately we're still learning how to eat right.
yeah.
Well,
We're
we
still
know
learning
how
how
to
to.
eat right. No, we know how to eat right.
Oh,
We just
you know
take
what?
detours. We just
That's
take
true.
detours. Okay, come on.
That is true.
We know how to eat right. We know we
Yeah,
we
we do. We just
we have that knowledge.
We just sometimes prefer junk food.
yeah. I mean, it's part of what? It's part of
Life.
Exactly. That's the what. That's the what.
that's the what.
That's the
Part of
what.
the what.
That's the what.
Okay.
As a
That's
matter
the
of fact, it was just very interesting, especially dealing in DNA terms. If we don't study our DNA, if we don't
Mhm.
study our spine, if we don't study, like, like not only the meridians, but also our key points that deal with our DNA,
Right.
what gets activated, especially during certain moments of the day, like Mary was saying, like it's like slow motion, how my body does it, right? But it's your own DNA, it's your own strands activating and opening up during certain times of the day, certain
Mhm.
awakening moments, certain portals, like for instance, the 99 portal,
Yes.
wink, wink,
Well,
happening.
I definitely had that one
That was
many years ago
yeah.
opened when I had my last child.
Wow.
I was really open then.
Yeah. Yeah. 99 will do it all the time.
Yeah, and the Kundalini too, on top of that, and the full moon on top of that.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
also creates a giant opening.
Yeah.
But at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like in dealing with all of those things, I just heard a beautiful video that someone was actually putting out. This guy on YouTube, he's got his name, I think, is Infinite Waters. And he was saying is that a lot of us can just eat vegetables and fruits and we will be okay.
Yes, ma'am.
if we get rid of the chemicals, if we get rid of the, like those addictions to like the junk, like Glenda said, we know exactly what we're doing. We know how to eat right.
Well,
We
and
know.
believe it or not, okay, I really don't eat junk. Well, cake, every once in a while, a cake, and I don't even eat that much chocolate. You would think, and I'm saying to myself, maybe that's what it is. Maybe my body needs some of that to not fight me.
Right.
You,
Like the give
because
and take.
our body does need a balance.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody needs a balance in order to get out from those plateaus where you're just stuck there. Whether it's the DNA, whether it's Reiki, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, I'm right now in the process of doing meridian flushes. I'm doing one per month. One, the first one will take the first and the second meridians, and then the next two, and then two. It'd be five altogether. Okay. The first time I had that done on me, okay, I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that my body's energy could flow so good. And, I'm like, huh. And this was very long time ago. I'm not going to say how long, but it was a long, long time. Let's just say over 30 years. And I decided that I needed to take those courses and I needed to help others. Now, I usually do those things privately, but I've now decided to do it publicly
Good.
because I realized there are a lot more people that don't understand and don't know about that. They don't realize that the energy points and the energy fields it isn't just the chakras.
Mm-mm.
We have meridians, we have points all over our bodies
Yeah.
that get activated, get deactivated, get bottled up, get backed up. Sometimes we have an emotional response to something, and poof, we build up that wall. And no matter what comes, it just keeps backing up. And until you actually break through that wall, then
Yeah.
you'll realize
Yep.
you were like, I am sure that 90% of my students, I don't want to say 99 or 100 because there's always those that I'm not sure if this worked, although it did, but
Yeah.
um, those that come and don't really believe, don't really trust.
Right. Right.
But yet, it's funny, they keep coming back because they know it works.
Of course. Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So once we start flushing ourselves, we could start letting go of all that and a lot more healing. So that means that we're going to have a lot more awakening, raising our vibrations. And if we do it, it goes on and on and on and on.
Correct. Yeah, because it will touch someone at some level because we are still part of that oneness. I call
Exactly.
the spiritual constipation. I know it's a funny term, but it is a reality where
Yes.
there is such a thing as spiritual constipation.
Yeah.
And it happens when there's no communication with the body. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the soul is doing all these things, but the
Mm-hmm.
body's got its own rhythm, its own thing happening, but there's
Mm-hmm.
no communication between the
Mm-hmm.
two. And that is
Mm-hmm.
so important because you can't just, it's like if, okay, I'm going to walk into a mediumship course and and it is designed for you to learn how to actually become the host of
Mm-hmm.
certain spirits.
Right.
You don't tell that to your body. What is your body going to do? It's going to reject. It's going to say, "Oh
Right.
no," and then the body mind wakes up and
Mm-hmm.
it does the same thing. That's why it's so important to have that conversations. I'm going to go to a mediumship today. I might just wear somebody else's soul for a little bit until we
Mhm.
figure out what's going on. You you see the correlation you have, because your body is the one that's going to tell you, Mary, no, not today.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
And you need to respect that. So yeah, I
Mhm.
totally understand that.
Uh,
I call it,
Definitely.
ladies, it's called in terminology, what I got channeled is congruency. There has to
Mm.
be congruency between your soul, your etheric body,
Hmm.
your mental body, because your mental state has to be balanced in order to function
Yes,
between your physical body,
yes.
honestly. And
Mhm.
just like your human and your divine have to be in congruent conversation with one another every day.
Right.
And if you just accept that you're human and you're still rejecting on some deep subconscious level that you're part of the divine, what is your body going to do? Every time it goes through that meridian flush, through
Mhm.
that DNA activation, through that
Mhm.
clearing, through that cleansing, through collapsing those timelines and clearing and healing, your
Mhm.
body's going to say, I'm sorry, you did what? Your soul is like, I just healed 30 different timelines for you.
Right.
Isn't that wonderful? You feel amazing. Like you feel your spirit descending, and then your body's like, ascended backwards, in reverse,
That's
in
it.
reverse.
That's it. Because that's
And
what
then
it
you
goes through.
feel everything. Like you
Yeah.
feel the flushes for real. You start feeling like you're in
Yeah,
menopause.
you're going like, oh.
Are we supposed to feel this? Does anybody else feel this? I love the question. Does anybody else feel like they're flying? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Uh,
real.
yes.
You know, in the shamanic sense, because we're talking so much about the DNA and what
Mhm.
the importance, the significance of the DNA. Somewhere, someone decided to separate. This is what I feel and what I've gotten from all these channelings and this journey.
Mhm.
Somewhere along the way, someone decided to separate science from spirituality when in fact they're both one and the same.
Yeah.
And what happened was that the human fell through the cracks, right? And it's very hard for the human to understand these things. Even today, there's still that mammalian mind, brain,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
is still in the forefront. And you're like, this person's never gonna get it. What what I don't know how else to I'm gonna send this one to Glenda because I can't. It's like, it's just no. Other than breaking it with something and going in there and doing a lobotomy, that's the only thing that I can think of to help this person. But then you have to look at the DNA. In the shaman world, you have your Viracocha, which is
Right.
this wonderful little thumb drive that holds
Mhm.
your memories, everything that your DNA has
Mhm.
stored through each one of your chakras in each lifetime, in each
Mhm.
dimension, and each
Mhm.
possibility and probable possibility, right? So
Yeah.
just as we're dying, there we're doing, the recapitulation and we're doing everything because of what we've gone through in our bodies. Our DNA is already recording like the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Take note of that.
Mhm.
Going, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened. Then you're dying, you're getting your death rites, hoping, and then these these chakras are closing up and coming into your Vita Kocha. Your Vita Kocha
Mhm.
closes, you're dead, you're gone, but you're not dead. You're not. Because your Vita Kocha keeps going until it finds another body. And then that DNA information, as you're getting done, guess
Mhm.
what? It's going into a new body. Boom, deja vu. Boom. Oh, I got this memory. Oh, I like you. I feel like I've met you before.
Yep.
Boom. That's in the DNA. That is so freaking important and such a precise, and I want to call it delicious um, creation
Mm-hmm.
that makes us all unique but very divine. So yes,
Yes.
Mariana. Yes, 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 yes.
Mm-hmm.
What you were saying is exactly
Yeah.
right.
And just to add to that, also in the Vita Cocha part, and in the shamanic also, like what's the basis of being a shaman, whether you're a galactic shaman, whether you're an earthly based shaman, is you see what's out there in the dark. You see what
Yes.
is the first, what describes a shaman, what makes a shaman any different from anything else is just that the shaman can see what is unseen.
Correct.
Yes.
And if you talk about the Vita Cocha, you also like even the pain that you experience and the fear,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
exactly like what is today 9/11, and a lot of it, what is experience, like if you get certain pains that you're like, oh my god, like this is not even me, like I don't never had that, where is that coming from, and then suddenly just goes away.
Yes.
Right.
Or you
Right.
fear something, you have like this like anxiety basic, oh my god, I can't breathe, oh I'm scared of this, and like you never experienced anything like that before. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's yours. It could be part of
Correct.
the entire collective as a whole that you're just tapping into because we are all one.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Or in the terms of the Vita Cocha, it could just be something that happened 2,500 years ago in another timeline, in a different dimension, or on Earth, in just a different body, in a different form, whether you were an animal, a mammal, or a human, or a rock.
Yes.
And then you're feeling that, you're tapping into that because it is a part of you. It's exactly, your soul is immortal. You never die.
Never.
Right.
If we all
Exactly.
really truly understood, especially it's ironic we're synchronistically talking about on the day today.
I know. But but
Yeah,
yeah,
isn't that
it's true.
true? It's like we
Very true.
are really, if we think about it, we fear death on a subconscious level, but the truth is death is not to be feared. Death is to be revered. It's immortality. And not only
Mm-hmm.
is it immortality, we are more remembered in death than we could ever be remembered in life.
As long as it's the right time, I want to clear that up
Of
because,
course, of
I don't
course,
want somebody to hear us say that, death is wonderful and all that when it's your right time.
of
Yes.
Not
course,
not when you live your life.
of course,
I want to make sure
of course.
we
Absolutely.
we say that and we clear that up,
Of course.
because we all have our life to live. We all have our lessons to learn. And I know that no matter how hard this life is, it is better to just live it completely
Mm-hmm.
and try to change your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If where you're living isn't working out, then maybe you have to make changes.
Correct.
If you're in a place or in a group of people that is not adding positivity to you, or positive feelings to you, or positive anything to you, then make do whatever you can to make changes.
Correct.
I know we feel all the time that we are stuck. I know that sometimes we're in a situation where we don't see the light, but there's always a way to change. It may not be easy. It may take a little hard work. It may take a few years to get all your ducks in a row, but it is the best solution for your soul.
Yes.
So your soul can ride out its proper timing and then go back up get debriefed, as I call it, and then get your next assignment.
Correct. Correct.
Because I don't know about any of you, but I really don't want to do this again.
Oh, I'm done. I'm here with my twin. So we were born just 2 days apart, and we've lived together ever since because
Right,
we grew up together. Um,
right.
but people call it twin flames.
Twin flames,
It's
yes.
a very
That's what my other half is.
it's a very young term,
Right.
but it's a lot more than that. It's just that it became the
The
words of the term of the
the
century.
popular thing. We want to be a twin flame thing.
Yeah,
Do your hard work first, and you'll find out if you're really a twin flame.
yeah. This
If,
thing,
if you could handle it, then
and that's the
you're
thing, and that's the thing. Everybody has, yeah, and this could be another show because the twin flame thing. There's so many myths,
uh
so much gibberish where it's just something totally different. It's just the way that it, like everything, it just got
yes.
convoluted and changed because so and so and so and so and so and so.
So and then all of a sudden they take one word from here and one word from there and one
Exactly.
thought from here and then you have like goulash.
Yeah, you do. You have a goulash, and you're like, well, what came first, the carrots or the potatoes?
Right.
Is that even in goulash? You know, because you're like, wait a minute, what, what? So, you wonder about those things, and you have to be educated. This is the premise of all of this. We
Mm-hmm.
have people that have a hierarchy. It doesn't mean that one is higher than the other. They all have positions. You have teachers, you have
Mm-hmm.
teachers that teach teachers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have shamans, you have
Mm-hmm.
healers, you have all
Mm-hmm.
these different positions to
Mm-hmm.
help. We got to understand, we've got to realize that we're not only here to go through lessons, we're here to teach people how to go
Mm-hmm.
through the lessons. And then people need
Exactly.
to understand that there are these people around them that
Mm-hmm.
they have access to. But first and foremost, they need to give themselves permission.
Mm-hmm.
Find these people and understand and be given the possibility that they're not going crazy. They are
Well,
truly divine. Well, I beg to differ on my side, but um, and they have the free will. Now, look
mm-hmm.
at free will. It isn't that we got free will to decide on what to do. No, we've got free will to decide on how to do it. But we also have the will to freely do what it is that we have to do. It's all in the way that it was turned, it was moved.
Mm-hmm.
So if we teach our children there's a problem with homework, okay, well then let's take a look because that's the simplest, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
problem with my homework, I can't understand this, I don't understand this teacher. Okay, so then let's look at it from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
That shows you that you're teaching your kids and you're teaching yourself actually to see things not as a problem but as a possible solution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to teach people. That's what I think one of the things that we're here to do among a million is
Mm-hmm.
that. It isn't to teach
Yes.
how to fish only. No, it doesn't stop there. It's the many ways that they can cook it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like a lot of the times I tell my students, you get a toolbox
Hmm.
and you put all different types of tools in there.
Hmm.
That's what you learn. Because if You're about to do something in your house. You may need a plumbing tool, but you may need 3 different types of plumbing tools,
Right.
or you may need a hammer, you may need uh, uh, anything, a screwdriver versus a plumbing tool. It could be an electrical tool. Each tool has its purpose and its design, its measurement. And then you decide which is the tool that you need
Mm.
for every given situation. It isn't just, oh, I learned tarot. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I teach it, okay? But that's not the point. Point is, the more you learn, the better it is for you. I could learn from 10 different mediums. Each one of them does it differently. And maybe this little bit resonates with me. And oh, wait, I never thought I could do it this way. And exactly. And make it my own. Exactly. You know, a lot of people ask me, why am I still studying? Because I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I I I take courses. You know, it's expands your capability, expands your consciousness. It expands your ability to see beyond what's here with each and every second that you take.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. Mariana.
I was just going to add to that. Knowledge is
Yeah,
power.
exactly.
And that's the only, I mean, if we talk about power or reclaiming our power, knowledge is it. I mean, but knowledge, if you really think about it, it's not that we're really learning, it's we're more like remembering. It's part of the
Yeah.
whole ascension process. It's part of our journey. It's not really the destination that matters. It's really our journey that matters. And if you don't
Very,
fill your journey with education,
very true. Very true.
what is the value then? What is the value? If you stop learning at any given point, that you're almost like a zombie, because it's like if you don't find a need to learn anything else and you think you already learned everything you needed to learn, reality check.
And then
Smell
it
that
hits
coffee
you,
again.
it hits you like that 18-wheeler coming at you dead on. And then the universe says, you're joking.
Absolutely. Because what is life? A life, I call it a tapestry of lessons.
Mhm,
Every lesson in our life just builds and weaves a thread in the infinite tapestry of all life.
mhm.
That's really what I truly believe. And we're all part of this giant tapestry, like one of those
Yeah.
gossamer threads that they used to have in the medieval time. That's really
Yeah,
what I think about it as
right.
life. And we're all like a little thread in that
Mhm,
tapestry, and we're all building it still from
mhm,
beginning to end, from the future to the past, more
mhm.
or less. And then so every time we learn a lesson, it's like a notch on our belt. It's like almost like someone studying karate in a dojo. You get the black belt. Oh my
Hey,
God, you learned a
I,
lesson. Check mark.
I,
Lesson learned. No more karma on that end.
yeah, yeah. Well, and you know, I I see a lot of people say to themselves, "Oh yeah, no, I got this. Yep, I'm done, whatever." And then all of a sudden, poof, it appears something major in front of them, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't expect this." Well, you're expecting first. That's the first problem right there. Your perspective has to be just go along for the ride, learn as much as you can, and heal as much as you can so you don't have to come back to do this one again. You know, I don't mind learning new things for the next one. Actually, could I be in a different planet? I kind of it's a beautiful planet, but you know, maybe something red next time. Anyway, instead of blue. I don't know. I just think that we all are here to heal ourselves, to heal our ancestors, and by healing ourselves and our ancestors, we heal the future generations because they don't have to do it. So every single time I heal something in me, I can tell that my kids, it's like they went, their soul went, okay, that one done. Okay, thanks, Mom. We didn't have to do that one. They have their own journey, but I feel like they don't need to carry my burden. I feel that once, you know, I learn what I need to learn, it doesn't go to the next generation and the next and the next and the next. Like accepting abuse, okay? That I could trace it back to so many in my family, okay? And then I could trace and see where it healed and where everything changed. Where it's like, nope, this is not happening anymore. Nope, we're not accepting it. That's your problem, not mine. That's it. It's like a switch, and you actually see it when you go back into your ancestry. You can actually see every single switch. Because I look for little peaks like that because I'm that crazy one that is intrigued by that. And I go and I'm like, that's when she decided that that was it. Okay. It didn't help that she actually buried the guy, but okay, never mind that. Uh, that's just under the rug. Anyway,
Minor detail. Minor
you
detail.
minor detail. I have an ancestor who comes and visits quite often. I call her Granny. She's about 10, I'm not quite sure, 10 or 12 generations up of women in my mother's side. She's in the Romanian side of the DNA. And her first introduction of herself to me was, I'm going to teach you how to do this. And I'm like, uh-oh. Once her original husband died, natural causes, nothing with her own hands, okay? She told me she had to have one to do the carpentry, like to keep her house and her roof done and all that other stuff. One to go do the killing so she could eat. One to do the farming so she could have vegetables and all that other stuff and so on. So she gave me like a list of 8, and then she said, make sure not one of them knows about each other. Now, mind you, I was 12 when I got this lesson, and I'm like, okay, now I finally know I am crazy. I know I went over to the other side and she is my strongest supporter and my like I could say, hey Granny, can you check up on so and so? I just want to know they're okay or whatever. And I could send her with my intentions, and she'll come back and report this, and this, and you need to send Reiki, you need to do this, you need to do that. And she's the one that actually will stand in the doorway if it is not meant for me to go through that doorway. A very powerful energy that I'm like, oof, like I could tell when she's making her appearance because I'm like, oh, all right, I need to fan myself. And I wish it was menopause because I already went through that years and years ago. So it was in that. And I'd never had hot flashes. So black Kodash, that helped. So I know that in this lifetime, My connection to her is very powerful. Now, it has come to mind to figure out if it isn't her incarnated in me, because I don't know. And this is why I could see her and I could feel her, and she becomes part of me, and I could feel her energy like if it was mine. And that makes me sometimes wonder that I, my grandmother, my mother's mother, when she was alive and I was 21, she used to say, she gave me her take on married life. The first one, you marry for love. The second one, you marry for money. And the third one, you marry for convenience. I am getting lessons from women in my ancestry. And I'm like going like, what? How did you guys get there? Like, my grandmother was only married once, so it isn't like, you know, but somebody gave her the knowledge. And she's like, we are all connected and we are all coming back to help the next generation, the next feminine generation. Why? Because it is our gentle energy that this earth needs. Doesn't mean that men cannot be feminine or have feminine in them or anything like that, but it is that feminine energy that this earth needs. So we could get out of this disgusting lower level that we're in. And this is why one of the reasons we're ascending. As soon as I started hearing that the world was 51% female, I said, okay, we're on a roll now. And that was very young. I was like, okay, we're starting. We're starting right now, and let's see what comes along. And it isn't that I'm more feminine or more masculine or anything like that, because I have a lot of masculine in me. I know it. Even though I don't look it. I have my, I'm going to do it my way or no way moments. And, you know, I have the, oh, I can't hear a thing moments. I learned very well. Anyway, but seriously, it is our energy that we will birth the earth as it should be. And humans, we've been practicing all this time. And I really believe that this is the time to actually take our feminine bodies and birth the earth, the kind earth, the healed earth that we have been intending to have for a very, very long time. That's, you know, it's come to my mind a few times, and a few times I've even had Archangel Ariel come down and said, you got that, you got it. And I'm like, okay, you sure? Because it sounds a little weird to me sometimes. You know, come on, we all get you know, we all channel, and sometimes we hear ourselves and we're like, what? Wait. That's why I always tell people, if I'm reading for you or if I'm channeling for you, you better record it, because first I may not remember, and second, once I start, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure it happens to both of you, right?
Absolutely. When you
Yeah,
channel, you're not going to
yeah,
remember. I get people that text me after a reading, and I do record them so that they can.
right.
because I am not going to remember. And I tell them, this is a channeling. This is not. And sometimes we're kind of like physically moved out of the way, just subtly, so
Mhm.
that that energy has space to project and go out,
Mhm.
in the physical, from the physical body. And I tell them, record this. I'm going to record it, give you a file, because I do not remember. I have them texting me, do you remember when you said this? No, I didn't say it. It came out of my body, but it was channeled. And they're like, it happened. Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's because it was channeled. There was
Mhm.
no ego at that moment.
Exactly.
So
Because
And
it
you,
wasn't for me.
right. And you
no.
have to get out of your own way. You kind of
Mhm.
ask to get out of your own way. And you know, when that happens to me, and it happens to me all the time, this is why I tell people, if I say something to you, it's something suddenly comes through, I will not know. Because the truth is, it's none of my business. I don't,
Right.
it's confidentiality. Confidentiality doesn't only pertain to the human world and to the earth. When you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist and they tell you your 45 minutes are up and protecting your privacy through the HIPAA law, it's not only on earth. Like this is, this it belongs to you. That message is clearly coming for you. Now there
Mhm.
are times when that message is also very much needed for the channel itself, and then
Mhm.
but everyone is going to perceive it, and everyone is going to hear it differently. And that's the
Mhm.
greatest part about it, because no matter what comes out from our bodies, no matter what is exuberantly excreted through our voice, I'm going to perceive it one way,
Mhm.
and the person that it's meant for, they're going to perceive it completely different. And they might actually even hear some additional channeling that they
Mhm.
think you said, even though they heard it.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
I'll tell you
Oh.
one beautiful example. Um, God rest her soul in peace. We just lost our dearly beloved Celestine Starr,
Mhm.
who died on July 4th. And I can't say it more than enough. I always say that's an amazing way to transition on Independence Day. To become free on Independence Day. And when she took her last breath, I've heard stories that like the fireworks came through in so many different areas throughout the earth, and you could see it in different directions through California and different locations actually in the United States as well. But I had a moment where I was going through a lot in the last couple of weeks, as we all have been, especially
Mm.
with the intense energies that are coming through at this time. And I spoke to a friend of hers who's also, she's in the spiritual world as she helps people heal. And we got this amazing channeling where Celestine said something, and both of us heard the exact same thing of what she was actually saying. At the
Mhm.
same exact time, she got it as I did. And I'm going to share it with you because I think it's just so prevalent for everyone to hear, is that, especially since we're talking about something like this, is what she said was, you owe no one an apology.
Correct.
You
So
owe
right.
no one an explanation about anything.
That is
The only one that you owe an explanation and an apology to is yourself,
that's it.
because everyone is a reflective mirror
Yes.
of you. And
Mhm.
anything that you're still trying to heal, any parts of you that you're still trying to ignite, activate through your DNA, flush out through your meridians, exactly as we were just talking about. Because I
Realign.
kept asking her, which conversation will this belong to? And she said, you'll see the cue, literally. And I saw the cue.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anything that you're still trying to heal or birth through
Mhm.
in a divine feminine way,
Mhm.
everybody in your life is a reflective mirror.
Mhm.
So
Very
anytime that you heal, anytime that you pull out that Vida Cocha or that Akasha or that timeline that you heal, or anything within you that you feel like cellular level healing, like you said, Glenda, with your children, that other reflective mirror outside of you is obviously going to get the same kind of output. So we're
Right.
the input, they're the output. And it's amazing. It's really, really amazing how that is. And I think that the ancestor that you communicate with, who's been like that solid rock in your life, whether you're
Mm-hmm.
an incarnated part of her or not, she's a reflective image of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why you can feel her, you can see her. And that's a contract that you guys came up with before you were born. So that way she can help you navigate through the murky waters of life
Mm.
That's
at
it.
this time, in this lifetime. Now,
Mm-hmm.
will she join you on the next one? We'll see. Maybe this time you won't be. Maybe you'll be on Red Planet. Like you said.
Who
Maybe
knows?
we'll still be doing Three Witches and a One on the Red Planet.
There you go.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too. So we're there.
I'm in.
We're there. We're all there.
And we got a lot to say, and we have a lot to
Yes.
channel. And I
Right.
think this is no coincidence that we have all been put together. It is no coincidence that we're vibrating at the same level
Right.
of understanding, spiritual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
There is an enormous understanding that, yes, by 2027, we are, as far as the the feminine energy, the feminine body. And I want you to
Mm-hmm.
understand that it's the feminine body, okay?
Right.
Not the
Right.
feminine energy, the feminine body. Yes, by 2027, we're going to be at 51%. But there's a reason for that. Why are we giving birth to? Because remember, we're the only ones that can give birth. The
Right.
amazing power that we have with that, the amazing spiritual teachings that we begin to understand that stems from the umbilical cord, okay? that that sacred space between body in body. It's not body with body, it's
Mm-mm.
body in body. That sacredness that there is going to, it's heralded to produce more female bodies. And you sit and you ponder and you wonder, you like, why? There is a reason for
Mm-hmm.
everything. For every action there's a reaction.
Right.
Therefore, we have been asking for more gentleness, for more awareness,
Mm-hmm.
for more love. We've been asking for all of that.
Yep.
Here it comes. Here it comes. So the power that we have, not only because we're not the only ones asking for this, we have our male counterparts also asking
Right. Right.
for this to come in and to to bring it into fruition. It's just not coincidence. None of
Exactly.
this is. And it isn't because you're lucky. It isn't because, it just you happen to be in the right place at the right time. Listen, we've been going through that, know, quotation mark,
Mm-hmm.
for too long. It's old. Time for a new one.
Right.
Let that go. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for another purpose. And this is,
Exactly.
we asked, we're going to receive, but most importantly, we're going to give.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, the law of circulation comes into this equation. So if we start teaching these little batteries, because I call our bodies little batteries, battery units, if we start teaching these batteries about love, about the significance of them being co-creators, our significance as moms, as mothers, as the birth battery, um, and we teach them what it is that they're here to do, how to use their gifts, how to use the talents that have been passed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're cooking. Now we're saying, you know what? It isn't a war between the feminine and masculine. No, it
No.
never was. People want you to believe that.
Right.
It never was. It's the law of the universe, and it's playing, and we're all part of it. And that's what we're here to do. This podcast, I think, is going to open up a lot of people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to attract a lot of new ones that found themselves listening and going, oh, because the whole idea here is to spark that DNA, for that DNA to
Exactly.
go, hey, I, I think I heard that one. I know. I think it's true. I think it's true. And then for them to actually start taking classes, it's Spirit University, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Spirit University. And just like we're taught math, reading, writing, we need to teach love, light,
Yes.
communication, self love, the
Mm-hmm.
beauty of being a co creator. So, Spirit University, here we go.
And it's also, ladies, it's also about reciprocity. It's the law of reciprocity. You give and you receive, but you give unconditionally without expectation to
Yes.
There you
receive.
go.
And
Love.
you
Exactly.
receive in the same manner without the expectation of giving.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it is the Vesica Pisces moment
Yes.
where we are going into that
Yes.
harmonic conversion, as chaotic as the world is becoming.
Absolutely.
But that is what that is what the illusion of the matrix is.
That's
You
it.
know, as chaotic as it gets, truthfully, truth be told, you know, we are getting into that harmonic convergence phase where we are becoming in harmony. We're birthing that which is to become the harmonious
Yep.
congruence of the human and the divine living together in one body, heart, spirit, and soul, and being okay with that and nobody rejecting one another. Everybody kind
Mm-hmm.
of living together. How could we live together in a marriage with our counterparts or with our twins, right?
Yes.
If
Mm-hmm.
we can't even accept our own humanness
Right.
and divinity together at one.
Exactly.
Correct.
We have to do that. It starts right here. And when we
Mm-hmm.
have that reciprocity within ourselves, when we have that progressive apology to ourselves, when we don't throw the blame or the judgment, and it starts with us, and we show the world that as an
Mm-hmm.
example,
Yeah. Mhm.
we become the birthers, we become the mothers, we become the midwives of a whole
Mm-hmm.
new perception of this world.
That's it.
Exactly.
There's no greater job than being a mother. It's not about going to work. I mean, of course, working is a very instrumental part in, on earth. How will we live, right?
Yes.
But if
Mm-hmm.
we don't be a mother to ourselves, truthfully, and we
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
don't birth that reciprocity within us,
Mhm.
how can we really try to heal the world or bring in the unconditional love, which is really what our mission is here, right? To anchor the light and the unconditional love on this planet.
Well, we
We
find
have
a
we
different
have to
point
do
of view.
that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
find a different point
Yeah.
of view and bring it in
Exactly.
and say, okay, well, this way it didn't come in. And especially for the female uses that part of the brain that is the puzzle maker. It's not only that she can solve the puzzle, no, she makes the puzzle. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where she's like, you know what? It's not going to fit this way. Let's do it this way. And it happens even when we're feeding children. Oh, he won't eat the sweet peas. Oh, yes, he will. We're going to find another way. So if we can get somebody to eat sweet peas or green beans one way or another without them knowing,
Yes.
we can certainly do what it is that we have to do in
Mhm.
this particular
Exactly.
reality, this tour, because I
Right.
call them tours, you know, and
Mm.
yeah, Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Yes.
Mhm. Well, ladies, let's end tonight and um, see each other next. May blessings, happiness, love be with all of you throughout this podcast and the next.
Yes.
We love you all.
Love you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, honey.